everyone. So today we are creating a URL shortener like Bitly in a simpler form. And I'll explain how it works and what it does and the development part. So I'll start with the how it works and what's its purpose. So for an example, if we have a URL like www.rahulgajbia.com slash blog slash article, okay, something like this. So if I want to share this with you guys, what I'll do, I'll paste it on LinkedIn, Instagram, or in my website. But tell me one thing, this is not that much of a long URL, but we have URLs like this and slash this, something like this. Now tell me, this lengthy URL, do you like it to see on a LinkedIn post or in any website? No, right? So this lengthy URL creates problem like, first, it does not look good. So meaning bad user experience, bad user experience. Okay. Second, if I give this URL to you, tell me, how will I know how many people have clicked it, how many people have visited my website? I won't be able to, because that's not the functionality I have configured on my website. Okay, so I won't be able to. So if I have a simple website, I won't be implementing that kind of features, right? So second thing, untrackability. Okay, so this is the main problem a URL shortener solves. So if you have this URL and you want to shorten it using shortener, okay, so what it does is it generates a unique ID, for an example 245HDF, something like this, okay, and assign this to the particular URL you have shortened. So I'll take example of LinkedIn. So if you have used LinkedIn and have pasted a URL in a comment or in a post, then what it does is it automatically assign and generates URL like this .in and this code. So this feature is in LinkedIn. LinkedIn also shortens your URLs automatically. Why? Because of these two reasons. How it works? It assigns this unique ID to your URL and creates many metadatas in their database. If you are using Bitly, then Bitly creates on their server, and if you are using LinkedIn, then LinkedIn creates it. Okay, so what it does, so it will be like this unique URL and something like visited. So if I give you this URL, this shortened URL, and when you click it, it will be processed onto their server on their backend and redirect to my URL. Okay, so they also process some other details. So for an example, like visited. So if someone click on this URL, this shortened version of it, it will generate the +1 on visited, and many more things can be done analytical wise with the help of URL shortener. So this is the purpose and how it works in the backend. So now we'll move forward to the development part, and I will be creating it on Express.js and MongoDB. It will be a very simple version, but it will do the most part. So let's start with the coding part. So okay, so first we'll create folder mkdir url shortener. I'll cd it, then npm init. Okay, it's done. Now we'll install the dependencies. So npm I express, we need mongoose nano id to create unique IDs, cors for course origin, and .env to manage .env files, and last we need body parser to pass data from the body. Okay, till the time it install, what we'll do, we'll create a file. So cd url shortener and touch server dot js. So okay, so it's installed. So I'll make some changes to package.json. First its type, its module, and I'll name the author mine Rahul Gajbee and save it. Now in the server.js, first we'll import all the required package. So import express from express, import mongoose, then import nano id, import course from course, import .env from .env, and body parser, import body parser. Okay, so it's done. So first we'll configure the .env. So .env.config and parentheses, and it's done. Now we'll create the app, const app equal express, and it's done. Now app.use body parser .json and app.use body parser .url encoded extended true. Okay, now app.use will update the course. Okay, it's done. Now we'll connect with this to our database. So if it's a big app, I will be creating on a separate file, but for now I'll just create it here. So mongoose.connect and then the URL. So I'll use the process.env file. So process.env .mongo URL. Okay, so we'll be creating a variable on .env file. So from there it will take the string connection. So if it's connected, then we'll console.log MongoDB connected. Okay, it's done. Now we'll create the schema. So for schema, we'll create a separate file, touch schema.js. So in this file, we'll import two things, mongoose and the schema from mongoose schema. Okay, now we'll create a const URL schema equal to new schema, and we'll create it. So for the URL shortening, we will require two things. First, the unique ID, and second, the original URL. So for the short ID, I'll just write its short ID equal to, colon, string. It's a string. Then the long URL. Okay, I'll name it as long URL string, and it's done. Okay, now I'll just const url equal to mongoose.model equal url, and we'll assign this schema, url schema. Okay, it's done. Now we'll export it. Okay, it's done. Now I'll import this schema here on the main server.js. Import url from schema.js. Okay, it's done. So here we need to do the two things. First, the post method. Second, the get method. And last, listen. So I'll just write it down here. Okay, now we'll do the listening. So app.listen equal 5000. I'll just hard code the value for now, and we'll console log if it's working. So console.log http localhost 5000. Okay, so it's working. Now we'll get the post method. So for post method, app.post, and then we'll assign the value as shorten. So with this URL we can shorten our long URLs. So this is it. Now it will be a async function, then res equal arrow function. Okay, so here will be two things. So first will be we are asking the long URL from front end. So long URL equal to rec.body. Second, we'll create a short ID with nano ID, and I'll assign it 7 value. Now we'll create a new URL equal to new URL short ID and long URL. Okay, now we have to wait for it to save in the database. So new URL dot save, and when it's done, res.json and short ID http localhost 5000 $, and the short ID for that URL. Okay, so this is done. Now we'll create the get method. So get method app.get, and this will be this URL /: and short ID. Now again it will be async function, then res equal to, we will be checking from the database if this unique ID exists or not, like short ID exists or not. So URL equal to wait, we have to wait for the database operation. URL dot find one short ID, it will be rec.params.short ID. Okay, so with this it will find, and then if URL exists, like if it found, then res.redirect to URL.long URL. Okay, now else res.status 404 not found .json error URL not found. Okay, so it's done. All the functionality is completed. Just we need to configure the .env file and the string connection. So for that, I'll create a .env file, touch.env, open it, and mongo underscore URL equal. Okay, so I'll take my string connection from MongoDB, connect, and copy the connection string. Connection string is here, test, and I'll save it and clear. Now I'll start the server and check if everything is working correctly or not. So npm start. Okay, so it's up at the 500 port and MongoDB is also connected. So let's open the portman to test our URL shortener. Okay, allow, and I'll create a new collection, REST API basic. Okay, now in the variables, I'll just change it to localhost 5000, localhost 5000. Okay, save. Now in post, I'll just configure it to shorten as we configured in our application, and we will be sending data from body xww from form URL encoded. So it will be long URL and the value will be, I'll just give my website name rahulgajba.com. So I'll send it. Let's see what happened. Okay, so it successfully created my short ID and it have given to me. So I'll just copy and check if everything is working or not. If I paste it here and enter, it will redirect me to my website. So here it is. So it have successfully redirected to my website. So the URL shortener working is fine. So this is how we create a URL shortener. So in the next video, I will be enhancing this application, enhancing the analytical ability, and I will create the front end for this app. For now, it's just a backend. So that's it for the video. If you like it, please subscribe and follow for more.